Alright, loading up for the first camping trip with the back rack, and here's the cool part. It is perfectly fit for those action packers. They're not my favorite deals. I've got several of them though. It perfectly fits 3 of them across it. Now when I'm doing these things, I have an old blue tarp. So there's a little bit hanging over this way and a ton that'll hang and drape over. So I can put all 3 action packers back there. I'll strap the action packers, well, first the tarp, then the action packers down with ratchet straps. After that's down, then the net goes on to keep the tarp from flapping in the wind. You always see those guys going down the interstate with all kinds of flapping going on. That's what the cargo net's for. The cargo net's just to keep that tarp from flying around and flapping around. Tarps flying and flapping around enough, they break lights, they scratch paint, they do all kinds of crazy things. But if you got a cargo net on them, they don't go anywhere. That cargo net's not meant to hold things in place though. Don't make that mistake. Like, straps are for tying things down and keeping them straight, keeping them connected to your vehicle. But yeah, so 3 of those action packer boxes. I mean, those things, for what they are, you strap them down too tight, they start collapsing. But for me, heaviest one, it's got the air mattresses in there. You can tell I'm family camping. If it was me, I could pack everything I needed in the truck and then still have room, like when I go hunting. Who is playing with my light switches? But wait a minute, while they're doing that. Turn the lights on again. There we go, okay, yep. Function check, yep, lights are on. I hear other things going, they're turning on the headlights and everything. Oh, silly babies. They're excited to go, as am I. But yeah, the heaviest one I put right over the center, where obviously that support bar or spar is. So the heaviest one's right there. The 2 lighter ones, I mean, that's just tents and pads. So that's for my 2 older boys will sleep in that tent with those pads on the ground. My wife and kids, the air mattresses. So heavy, light, and then some other stuff stacked on top. With this situation, you got to pay attention to how you're packing, because you're not getting back in these back doors after this. That's where guys that have the tailgate lift gate, that's where they have an option that I don't. So they got an advantage that way. But yeah, that's the basics of how I start packing it. I'll show you when it's finished. Alright, there we go. Got 3 tubs, a stool, a tent, all wrapped up, strapped down. Now the cargo net goes on top of it. Alright, there we go. All netted up. This cargo net, the only thing I really probably complain about, it didn't come with enough of those hooks. But strapped down, netted down, that should keep this just fine. This tarp may not be as fully wrapped as I might like, but it'll keep it mainly protected if there's weather. Well, that's nice and tight. That's just a funny angle compared to the rest of them, but it should hold. Try to keep the straps inside both the net and the tarp. Should be alright. Yeah, all the camping gear on the back. Sleeping bags, food and water and all that stuff in there, but tents, other sleeping bags, stove, another tent, yeah. There it is, we're ready to roll. Alright, here we are, kind of at the end of our trip. Spanish Fork River Recreation Area. Boy, did we get this truck dirty. Plenty of dusty. So, unfortunately the battery let out right before the trail got really rough and got really fun, so our basic advice on this one is, if you don't want the rough sections of the trail, you go to the Colton and Scofield area and you hit the Skyline Drive from there. You'll get to a point where a big warning sign says narrow and steep. That's where it gets rough. Everything from then on, or from up to that point, from Scofield up to that point, is, as you saw, it's all either paved roads up there in the mountains, beautiful drive, but it's paved roads, and then the gravel roads up there. And as you also saw, it's just freaking busy up there, lots of people. Not too bad though. I mean, it wasn't too bad. So yeah, freaking awesome drive. Good trip, good camping. We're here just to take a lunch break because it's about noon and we're on our way out of the mountains. And this would be why I will tarp this stuff in the back. Look how much dust is on that. That's just dusty as can be. I'm sure some of it got its way in. So that was our adventure camping at Scofield. At the reservoir up there, it's a state park, 20 bucks to get in. Tiny little campsites, but if you like fishing and water activities, that's probably a nice place to go. And then the trip out on Skyline Drive. I've always wondered what Skyline Drive was. Now I know. I thought it was a pretty good trip. Pretty fun. Pea gravel. Yeah, if you've come this far, appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.